So what we're dealing with then is that the war, if you will, the coming war is the war in your mind, in your understanding. They're trying to tell you over and over again that there's no gain with a civil war, there's no gain with a race war. The problem has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with, race is a problem. But that isn't what's got you all upset. See, the thing you have to get a good grip on is what is causing you to be upset. What gets you to the point where you're ready to fight? What has you to the point where you're ready to start a race war? What has you to the point where the police are your enemy? The army is your enemy. Why do you get there? How did you get there? What's causing it? And they say that you need to look internally at what you understand, what you believe to be true. And that is where the problem is. And they're trying to make it strong. So, they're trying to make it strong for you to understand that we sure don't need another civil war. We don't need any kind of a war. We don't need to be killing our brothers and sisters who are police officers or army personnel. We just, that is not what should be going on. And they recognize that. And then there's one other area that they are quite adamant about, and one of the things that perhaps the overchargers or those who were totally against might use to, make you do the wrong thing. And so they are going to emphasize the change that they don't want to see, to make sure that you don't get fooled by the overchargers and do something that you'll really be sorry for. So they go on with this thing that they don't want you to believe.
We do not recommend the formation of a cult or any group which would be recognized as the normal citizens of their country. In each of you is the battle, not outward. Inward, alone, and inward is for the study, learning, and application. The battle is individual, self against self. You understand what they're saying? Inward. It isn't out there. It isn't anything outside of you. That's not where it is. That's not where the battle is. And so they go on and say, then as you enter the group, the needs change. The group is for the teaching only. It is a group that you learn. It is in a group that you learn that which is taken back into self and pondered back into self. See? Understanding that, then you will go out there and fight the fight and do the battle to right the wrong. If you understand where the battle is and how the feeding of the fallen one is accomplished, then you know that the battle is in and not out. The battle is in self. The society will change when you change what goes on inside. That's the first thing. No cult, no group, no change that would, all of a sudden you're different than the rest of the people around you. To say, no, none of that. That doesn't need to be done. Second part, we do not recommend the formation of a church. God knows there are enough of them already. If you want a club, call it that. If you want a church, look inside. And they say more of that information is given in Book 5. Number 3, we do not recommend the overthrow of any government. There are legal and acceptable means of accomplishing what we recommend here. Without the use of any kind of violence, the battle is within. Violence is for the feeding of it. We do not recommend the breaking of any law for any reason tied to this work. We can get to where we need to be within the framework of the present laws. We will show you how to change the laws. If you see the need to break a law to accomplish any portion of what we're talking about here, you see wrong. Would you feed it, the bad one, more evil? In other words, you understand what they're saying there? don't get your guns out and start shooting. It's all changed inside of you, and when it changes inside of you, your government will change, and you'll change the laws quietly and legally, and you'll change the Constitution quietly and legally, and everything will change because when they show you what it is, where your power is, there's no stopping you. You will get what it is you want, and if you have any sense at all, you'll take what they say and do it, because they've worked their way through this and worked their way through this, and they know it'll work. And there's no extraneous stuff suggested. There's no baloney suggested. There's no things that won't work suggested. It's all put together, and if you just do what they say to do, they say over and over again, you can sit down and watch your TV, and you'll have the power that you have a right to do. You'll have the income that you have a right to have. You'll have the life that you want, and that you have a right to have, and that's the key to the whole thing.